Animals of the past, the great auk. Long before we knew about penguins in the south, there was the great auk of the north. This was the original penguin, a flightless bird that lived on the rocky islands of the North Atlantic, including the coasts of the UK. A great auk mother would lay just one single egg a year, resting it directly on the bare rock. The chicks were covered in soft, grey down and were incredibly vulnerable. They couldn't fly, so they relied entirely on their parents to bring them fish from the icy sea. They were gentle, social birds that lived in massive colonies, filling the air with their calls, but because they had no fear of humans, their innocence would soon become their downfall. An adult great auk was a master of the ocean. Standing nearly 3 feet tall, they were awkward on land, but moved like torpedoes underwater. They had beautiful black backs and white bellies, with a distinct white patch over each eye that acted like a mask. For centuries, sailors used them as a source of food and feathers, but by the 1800s, they had become so rare that they were worth a fortune to collectors. This created a tragic death spiral. The rarer the bird became, the more hunters wanted them for museums. They were chased to the most remote islands on Earth, eventually disappearing from the UK entirely, until only a few remained on a tiny volcanic rock near Iceland. The story of the great auk ended on June 3, 1844. A group of hunters landed on Eldey Island and found the very last breeding pair. While the birds were tending to their final egg, they were captured. That was the moment the species vanished forever. It is one of the few times in history where we know the exact date a species was erased by human hands. Today, all that remains are a few preserved specimens in museums, but their legacy lives on in the word penguin, a name that originally belonged to the great auk. They remind us that even the most abundant creatures can disappear if we don't protect them. Follow for more animals of the past.